All right, hi guys. This is Dimitri Noman. I'm owner of NewConfig, a headhunting recruiting staffing agency based right outside of Philadelphia in Huntington Valley. And today, in July of 2025, I want to talk to you about the state of the remote work market and what's going on with remote work and how are things progressing. So the first thing I want to tell you is a disclaimer. I only create content. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not your lawyer. So if you have an issue with some of the topics I discuss here, I advise you to talk to an accredited lawyer, an individual. This is just for informational purposes, what I'm talking about here. That's it. So that's a disclaimer, so you know that I'm a headhunter. I'm not a lawyer myself, and I'm specifically not your lawyer. So the remote work market here in July of 2025, according to the Bureau of Statistics, of Labor Statistics, that's a U.S. agency, government agency, in March 2025, there was a report, and there were about 35.5 million remote workers in the U.S., which comprised 23% of the workforce, which is a lot. 37% of these people work all their hours, all 40 hours or more that they work at home. So they're 100% at home. Leading industries for remote work, if you want to know, if you want to get into remote work, are accounting, IT, finance, marketing, HR, and recruiting. So I'm in recruiting. I know that for a fact. I do have about 6 remote workers in our office. Well, not in our office, in our remote office. So it's a big part of our industry. We try to capture the best talent, and sometimes the best talent is not here in Philadelphia. So we go around the nation and the world to find the best talent. Now, remote workers, who are they? Most of them are younger people. Most of them are female. Most of them are Asian or white, according to the U.S. labor statistics. And most are higher education and make higher money. So most, it seems from this, I could imply that many have bachelor's degrees or even master's degrees. Now, employers are struggling to get employees back to the office. And when employers try to push employees back into the office, there's resistance. And a lot of times employees assert disability-related issues for not going back into the office. So right now, 23% of the workforce is remote. If it was up to the employers, unlike me, I'm fine with remote workers, but many of our clients are not. And if it was up to them, most of their employees, maybe 90 to 95%, would be 100% on site. That is just my opinion. That's what I think from what I hear in the market and what type of people are hiring and what they're looking for. Most of the time, they're not hiring for remote workers. So what do employees do is they assert disability-related issues for not going back to work. And this triggers accommodations through HR. And this includes wage laws, discrimination laws, leave laws, and taxation laws. Now, the problem with remote workers for employers is that multiple states could apply to laws from multiple states could apply to remote workers. For example, there was a case, Roddy versus KPMG, which is a huge accounting firm, KPMG LLP, in 2025, and the case was about an employee working in Georgia, and the company KPMG is located in New York City, which is New York State, and it was found that New York State law and Georgia law was applying to this, so laws from 2 states could apply, even though the employee was located in Georgia. So there was an article about this. I'll try to share it so you guys can look at it as well. That came out in April. So this is a big issue. And now when it comes to what we do here at NewConfig, we hire new employees, candidates. Most companies are looking for on-site, at least hybrid, but mostly on-site 5 days a week. It's just what we're seeing in the market. We're seeing less and less remote workers right now in July of 2025. And since COVID has been over for many years now, I foresee that to continue, and there'll be less and less remote positions open, though employees still prefer all of them 100% remote positions if they could get it. Now, in IT is a very interesting facet when it comes to IT developers and programmers. A lot of interviews for IT are happening on site. Why? Because a lot of candidates, they lie. They use ChatGPT to take their online tests, their coding challenges. They have their friends take their coding challenges. One person shows up to the technical interview, the other person shows up to the job. There's also been an article in the Wall Street Journal recently in the last 2 months where North Korean developers are trying to get jobs in the U.S. Through VPN. They hire U.S. based people that VPN them into their work environment, so the employer sees that they're working from the U.S., and that is how North Korea is able to get cash, U.S. dollars, currency back into North Korea, because they need that. They need currency in North Korea. So what employers are doing, which is very smart, is they are taking on-site interviews for a second or third round for the candidate to come in and do an on-site interview to do the coding challenge on site, so they can meet them in person. And if they pass the on-site interview, then they get an offer and they can work 100% remotely. But for the interview, it has to be on site. Now, another option that a lot of employers are doing is watching the employee, the potential employee, the candidate, do their coding challenge. They share their screen and they see them on the screen, so they see their face, they see what they're typing in the coding challenge, whether it's JavaScript, Angular, whatever language they're typing, Python, so they see them doing the coding challenge in real time and they see their face, so they record it. That's another option. But the vast majority prefer to fly a person in on site to do the interview, and then if they like the person, then they give him an offer or her an offer, and then have them start remotely. But that is only for IT developers. Most roles right now are becoming more and more hybrid and more on 100% on site, though current employees are fighting this with the disability claims that I have mentioned earlier in this video. I hope this was useful to you. I hope you keep watching our channel and stay tuned to more videos about what's happening in HR and recruiting and candidates, how to help people find jobs and how to help employers find the right candidates.